Marsha. I will be representing my group Chocobo for our Project 2 presentation, which is tabletop gameplay information and data for our game Celebrity Warfare. The game's objective is to use attack and defense cards to cancel opponents' celebrities while protecting your own. The last player with the last uncancelled celebrity wins. Our target audience are young adults who enjoy humor and pop culture and those who appreciate satirical takes on celebrity culture. Our game could be played by 2 to 6 players and it takes about 15 to 30 minutes per session. So for our game, there are 2 decks of cards, one deck being the celebrities card and the other deck being a mix of attack, defense, and special. For our celebrities card, it consists of 12 controversial celebrities. For our attack card, we have 35 general attack cards and 26 towards targeted celebrities. For our defense, we have 25 cards that require a dice roll against attack cards, and 10 works as a counter. Then we have 10 cards that could instantly block an attack. Lastly, for the special cards, it consists of actions that alter the course of the game. So getting into the attack cards, we have general attacks and targeted attacks. For the general attacks, a player can choose whichever celebrity that they want to attack. And for the targeted cards, it is aimed towards a specific celebrity that any player could have. So for instance, we have Kim Kardashian. Photoshop fail is targeted towards her, but there are also certain cards that do damage to more than one celebrity. So for instance, the marriage fallout, it does damage to Kim and Kanye. So for the defense cards, let's take it for example that one of my celebrities is getting attacked, and if I have a defense card on hand, I could use that to counter the attack. Certain defense cards have different purposes. So let's say I have the one that requires a dice roll. I would have to roll the dice with my opponent, and if I roll higher, my defense works. And if my opponent rolls higher, then the attack will go towards my celebrity. And if I roll higher and the attacker somehow has a counter card, they could put that down and it would counter my defense. The instant defense cards require no dice rolls, so it works instantly. Then we have the special cards, which is the stronger cards. So for instance, we have the reshuffle card where all players switch their deck with the person to their left or right, depending on the game going clockwise or anti-clockwise. These special cards are intended to somewhat change the flow of the game to make it a bit more interesting. This is our playtest setup workflow. So first we did internal testing and card refinement amongst our team before organizing the playtest sessions with a group of young adults. We observed their gameplay dynamics and then we distributed a survey to gather their feedback. We then collected the data and refined the game for a smoother and funner gameplay. So during our internal testing as a group, we made a few alterations to the gameplay mechanics because we felt like it was needed to make the game smoother. So during our playtest, initially we would have 7 cards on hand, but then we realized that most of us were getting the special cards too often and it changed the course of the game a lot more. So it made it very time consuming and long, which is why we reduced the cards on hand to 5 cards. Then 2 moves per turn includes discarding a card just to make it fairer for the other players. Initially, a player was allowed to counter an attack regardless of whether or not they have a defense card, which requires the dice roll. But we realized that it got repetitive, so a player is now only allowed to counter the attack if they have a defense card on hand. In correlation to point 1, where the special attack cards were making the game longer because it showed up too often, we decided to reduce the cards to 18 cards instead of 24. After gathering different groups for our playtesting, we distributed a survey to gather their feedback. This allows us to collect structured and quantifiable data from multiple participants quickly and gather feedback on specific aspects of the game to provide clear directions for necessary changes and improvements. This survey covers the overall enjoyment, the clarity of the rules, the balance of the cards, and any suggestions for improvements. The player demographics comprises 69% female respondents, 23% male, and 8% non-binary respondents. It consists of a youthful demographic because majority of the participants fall within the 18 to 24 and under 18 age group. Participants were asked how often they play card games, and it indicates the presence to both casual and regular players. Participants were asked how easy it was to understand the rules. Most playtesters found the rules understandable, with majority of them rating very easy and somewhat easy. However, 15% found them very difficult, but at this time we didn't have an instruction manual, so we had to explain the rules verbally, but we'll keep in mind to keep the instruction manual as clear as possible. The gameplay engagement received positive feedback because majority of the players rated it a 5 or a 4. Meanwhile, 23% rated it a 3, highlighting potential areas for increased engagement. But overall, it is a generally favorable response. Then we asked if they felt like the attacks and defense cards were balanced. Majority of the players answered yes, while 8% expressed concerns. It is mentioned that if the defense card wins, then there are no repercussions for the person using the attack card. So we've decided that if the attacker loses the dice roll, they would discard their card. We asked how they felt about the pacing of the game, and majority of players enjoy the pace of the game being fast, which was our intention during our internal playtesting to make the game shorter. Then we asked if they enjoyed the theme of the game. 92% of the players enjoyed it, while one person said that they don't really like the idea of having problematic celebrities in a card game. Overall, this suggests that the humorous and satirical nature of the game resonates with most players. They were asked what they least like about the game, and playtesters mentioned that the rules need to be clearer because it can easily be misunderstood. Same goes to when they're asked for suggestions for any improvement. They also mentioned that the number of cards could be increased, but upon testing it out with more number of cards, we realized that the game would be too simple. 100% of the playtesters expressed interest in playing the game again, which suggests that the game is enjoyable and has strong replay value. We've noted some pain points when it comes to observing the gameplay and came up with some solutions. So for the rule clarity, most playtesters find it difficult to understand the rules. So when it comes to the instruction manual, it needs to be more detailed and clear. With engagement, balance, and variety, it all comes within refining the cards and adding a more detailed description for a more richer gameplay.